Thank you, Emilio, and thank you, Paul, for housekeeping and house rules. And thanks everybody, all of the people who just joined this press discussion of our young leaders that are gonna speak today. Thank you all for making time this morning to just jump on and really prioritize the voices of that really matter, which is our youth that really got us to this historic day and soon to be historic day, right? In a few, hopefully in a few hours. But yes, I guess so. Yeah, welcome everybody. My name is Kent Mendoza. I'm with the Anti-Recidivism Coalition. I'm also a proud organizer with LAYUP. And yeah, so I'm not gonna waste too much time speaking. I'm just gonna go straight to the speakers. You are gonna hear from a bunch of amazing young leaders that have been, crucial and critical to the entire youth justice work group process, and leading up to this day, and really making things possible. So we're gonna hear from several of our young leaders, and we'll have some like also one of our artist Jerry, who will close us out with some song and music. But yeah, so to not waste too much time, I'm gonna pass it to the first young leader on Black, who's gonna kick us off with some reading piece, and starts off with some why we're here today. Go ahead, Black.
How y'all doing? My name is Black. They call it. This is just a little something I read a while ago, but it's called Low. So y'all can hear me, right? All right. It go like this. Long sympathy on apology. I'm giving no apologies. Taking opportunity. I'm rolling with a strategy. Charge up like a battery, getting savagely. Keeping caution from the cage, going forward through the galaxy without dreaming my reality. Big step and make a passage from the streets of my feet. I'm the one to my destiny. I'm a legacy, not a fatality. Just a masterpiece. Put a little elbow grease. Watch your back. You don't know who playing for keeps. You don't know who waiting leads. Slip straight through the creeks. Climb mountain peak and build your own seat. Long sympathy, an apology. I'm giving no apologies. Taking opportunity. I'm rolling with a stride. Charge up like a battery, getting savagely. And keeping caution from the kites. Going far through the galaxy without draining my reality. Big step and make a pass from the streets to my feet. I'm the one to my destiny. I'm a legacy, not a fatality. Just a masterpiece. Put a little elbow grease. Watch your back. You don't know who play for keeps. And you don't know who waiting leads. Slip straight through the creek. Climb out the peak and build your own seat. Did you know it costs 800,000 to lock up a youth in LA County? My name is Jacob Jackson from the Crenshaw District. I'm a youth organizer with the Youth Justice Coalition and LA Youth Uprising Coalition. I feel as if my voice has value, and this situation is something very critical for me. Growing up in Los Angeles, a police stopped affecting me before I was born due to my brother being shot and killed in South Central by LAPD in 1994. That made my mom more hypervigilant. At the age of 16, I was affected by the school to jail track, pushed out of Crenshaw High School, and into the streets. That led me to be arrested, detained, and on probation. I was on probation for a full year. Being put on probation stopped my full focus from being at school, which took time from my mom pulling her from her work. The mail from probation kept piling and adding over the months that added more stress on my mom financially and emotionally. Living on Crenshaw, a black and brown low income community, other youth around me are always violated over small offenses that are harassed and criminalized. Still today, 90% of incarcerated youth identify as black and brown. Probation has taught me that we need a whole new department based on youth leadership and developing skills and access to cultural needs. Probation pick and choose who gets resources no more. I want to see a healthy turnaround in my community. Thanks to Free LA High at the Youth Justice Coalition, I graduated this past June and on time. Chukos gave me more access. Chukos gave me more access to learning transformative justice, being more able to see a problem and identify it from the roots, not just from the actions of it and just why. We need to understand it. Open me up to a different view of political structures and representatives while being able to develop my leadership qualities and skills. I'm stepping into it right now. My experiences and our experiences have to be a part of this decision. Like all time dismantled that we have to have our voice in planning our own futures and tax dollars. Taking this 500 mil juvenile probation budget to reallocate it to today at the minimum of $75 million and more to programs like youth development and like the ones at Chukos that helped me step into what I am today. Please. Thank you.
Thank, thank you, Black. I appreciate that. That was powerful. And you know what? I'm not gonna waste too much time because I don't want to kill the momentum. So go ahead, Ronnie, and keep it going. Take us away.
Thanks, Kent. Thank you, Black, for that piece. That was amazing. My name is Ronaldo Villeda. I am a youth advocate and community organizing intern for the Anti-Recidivism Coalition. I'm also a youth leader within the LAYUP Coalition. LAYUP has been working to transform youth justice for over a decade. It's time to free our future and support Youth Justice Reimagined. Our action priorities for the LA Board of Supervisors are clear. We have 4 demands. The first one is to create a new department of youth development and transfer all duties of the Juvenile Probation Division into that department within 5 years. Reallocate at least $75 million from probation to the new department and continue to reallocate juvenile probation's full $500 million per year juvenile budget to fully implement Youth Justice Reimagined. End programs that criminalize youth, including school-based probation, probation citation diversion, and probation run diversion programs. And lastly, continue to engage young people, formerly incarcerated youth, and community members throughout implementation. As somebody who was facing life in prison at 17 and who knows all too well the punitive approaches of our system, I stand with Youth Justice Reimagined. I was able to play an active role in the Youth Justice Work Group on Subcommittee 3, and I really do believe that this report centered youth voices. I really think Youth Justice Reimagined is a new way of thinking. It's an innovative way at rehabilitating youth, and it's a way at really creating a new system that is rooted in the things that youth need. And I understand these solutions because I went through the system, which is fundamentally flawed. And I really want to just urge the BOS today to please pass this motion. You know, the next generation of youth and just our children's future is in the hands of the Board of Supervisors today. And we really need to end the perpetuation of trauma. We need to end the pain and the heartache that it's caused me and my peers. We're a living embodiment that investing in youth works. We're a living embodiment that this is what transformative justice looks like. This is what innovative justice looks like. And all it takes is for someone to believe in us. So we're asking you today to please believe in our youth. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate it, Ronnie. And those for the people that just joined. We already had 2 of our young leaders speak, and we're gonna have our 3rd individual speak now. So go ahead, Kenzo, and go ahead, continue the amazing, powerful statements.
Thank you, Mr. Ken Mendoza. I will continue on with this matter. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kenzo Sowe. I am a youth advocate representing the Anti-Recidivism Coalition. As a young man that was in the juvenile justice system for many, many years, I believe that the probation department does not benefit the youth that constantly are inside the juvenile justice system and also on school-based probation. I noticed that most of my peers does not benefit from this probation system. Also, were never exposed to their opportunities as a child that could have molded them to become productive members of our communities. That is because there isn't enough money invested in our communities, centers, youth development centers that are all required to have tools to change their perspective on bad decisions and put their all into academics. This is due to the fact that there isn't enough funds to have these foundations in different schools and communities. There should be more after school programs that includes tutoring, career readiness, sports training, social skills, culinary arts, yoga for the body and mind, money management, leadership skills, and mental health services. On my behalf, I agree on changing or remove the probation system school-wise, knowing that probation would disagree on our perspective and point of views on this matter. But when you think about it, it's another form of incarceration without the jail cells. Also, if an individual wants to change, they would personally change. Probation won't be the reason for that. We are asking at least $75 million to put these programs and foundation to our schools so young people can be focused on moving forward in their lives and working on becoming emancipated. We will need more than this to build into our communities. Without the support, it's impossible for a young man to worry about moving forward when they constantly have to be afraid of probation conditions and getting violated. I experienced this exact experience as a high schooler and also being on probation. These probation conditions is very distracting when a young person wants to take ownership of their own lives. I want to thank the board for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts and look forward for you to consider our proposal. Thank you, and I will pass it back on to Mr. Ken Mendoza.
Thank you, Kenzo. I'm gonna hold it off. Go ahead, Maura.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Maura. I've been a youth advocate for 2 years with Arts for Healing and Justice in LAYUP. Growing up, losing a father to the system for 17 years, who is now home and on parole for life, having a brother battle mental issues and juggle his place in the system, I see secondhand. By secondhand, I mean I see the effect of what probation has on my loved ones. It's time for a change. The LA County has provided probation with a lot of money. As a youth in the low-income community, probation's funds should be redirected to the community. Arts programs, youth jobs, youth community centers, healing and therapy. If those funds were in the youth development, I feel there would be less youth in the system. If you get us when we are hurt and redirect us to be better, stop locking us up, eliminate probation, eliminate school probation, and redirect those millions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maura. I'll pass it to the next speaker, who will be closing us out with some words in celebration, and also Jared will follow with some music, and then some questions after that, questions and answers. Go ahead, Kenzo. Ezekiel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ezekiel Nishiyama. I'm a youth advocate with the Anti-Recidivism Coalition and a youth leader with the LA Youth Uprising. As a youth, I experienced the probation system at a young age. The experience still follows me today as I look at all the trauma I went through. I never seen the support I needed provided, as law enforcement models told me I would never be shit, labeling me as a problem child. At 15 years old, I experienced incarceration, fought for my life to get out the system, and seen the true reality that our systems are made for us to mess up, becoming a setup for our failure. With that being the case, we have recognized the failures we have had in our system, and it proves it isn't effective. As a youth who spent 4 years of his life in the system, I've seen the little programs and opportunity that was given to us. Our future generations need the support and tools for success. All it takes is someone caring and seeing the best in us as we fight battles within ourselves while trying to be the best versions of ourselves. I never thought that we would come so far in this work, but the job is never over. We still spend $500 million a year on probation. We as a community are asking for at least $75 million of this budget, but I believe we will still need more to build a better future for LA. I want to thank everyone for all their hard work and the shifts we've made in the county. Today is a day of celebration, as we should all be clapping for this historic event. I'd like to thank you all, and I'd also like to lift the energy up by passing it to my brother Jared.
Go ahead, Jared. I think you're on mute if you're trying to unmute yourself. Oh, go ahead. You're good now.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? My name is Jared, but I also go by J-Bo. I'm the Freedom Arts Coordinator with the Youth Justice Coalition, and I'm also a youth organizer with the LA Youth Uprising Coalition. I'm here to perform a piece for you guys, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about, you know, the efforts and everything that we did throughout the process. But yeah, this piece is called We're Gonna Rise, and I've performed it at a couple different social justice events. It's currently in the process of getting recorded. Yeah. We're gonna rise. We're gonna rise up someday. And no matter what stands against us, we're not gonna let this system break us. We're gonna rise. We're gonna rise up someday. We can make it out the struggle if we just fight this fight together. We're gonna rise. We're gonna rise up someday. See, I despise the way that my people lose their lives in this 21st century, but I ain't surprised. My people die every time I blink my eyes, and it's so messed up like we addicted to this ghetto lifestyle. No way out, even if we tried, and now they talk about make America great again. I'll be like, what the hell are you saying? Who's gonna take the blame for the bloodstains on my lane? See, I cry for change. My people die, but the tears remain. I wake up every day and I face the pain. How long we've been waiting for this master plan? I think it's time that we set the trend. Think it's time that we change the game. We got brothers killing brothers and it's all for fame. Like, is it all a game? Is it all a game? I refuse to let my brother and my sister just die in vain. I put my fist in the air and I chant their names. We're gonna rise. We're gonna rise up someday. And no matter what stands against us, we're not gonna let this system break us. We're gonna rise. We're gonna rise up someday. Or we can make it out the struggle if you just fight this fight together. We're gonna rise. We're gonna rise up someday. See, I wanna stand in this life. How can a man be a man? I'm shouting out to my mom. I wish my pops had a plan. Yeah, I grew up in the slums and I was known to the gang. In the city that I'm from, everybody want to bang, everybody want a gun, and everybody want to slang. But when it all comes to pass, everybody want to change. On the way to break the chains is retired from the game. R.I.P. to all my kings that have passed on the lane. We're gonna rise. We're gonna rise up someday. And no matter what stands against us, we're not gonna let this system break us. We're gonna rise. We're gonna rise up someday.
Thank you, Jared. And I think missed someone. So before we go to questions and answers Q&A, I'm gonna hand it off quickly to Oscar to, if you could just close us up with your last youth statement.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here so early at 8 o'clock in the morning. I would like to say that I spent 4 years incarcerated from the age of 15 to the age of 19. I am sitting here in front of you, and I'm very humble to be here. To start off, I stand with Youth Justice Reimagined because I support it because it is rooted and invested in our youth. Our old system is filled with trauma, hate, and rage. For decades, we have been doing the same system. One of the most intelligent men that ever stepped foot on this earth said, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is insanity. So let's leave this old system in the past and let's move forward with BOS, and let's not forget, but remember from our old mistakes moving forward. We're asking for this budget. It sounds a lot, but if you look at it, I grew up in the east side of South Central. The east side and the west side completed is $80 million that it costs to incarcerate people that are in this demographics. So to ask for this money to invest into us, for we could do something positive with it, and you're hearing it directly from the youth, like people that are living here, that lived it, not just people that are just talking about it. So I'm just asking for you guys to support this motion and let's move forward in positivity and let's make some positive changes. Thank you for being here and thank you for giving me this quick opportunity. My name is Oscar Canales. I'm with the Anti-Recidivism Coalition. I'm a youth navigator, and I'm also a proud member of the LAYUP Coalition. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Oscar, and that concludes all of our youth speakers and panelists. And just before we go to questions and answers. I just wanted to uplift, that this is why we're here today, because of what you just heard. We are here today because, for many years, our youth have been suffering from a system that has been failing to, do the things the right way. And a lot of our young fellows today express why it's the moment and it's the time that, that the county moves away from this system and moves into one that actually is gonna heal, transform, and save the youth from from the trouble that we all get into, because we're all young and we all do dumb things, But yeah, so I guess I just wanted to uplift, that we LAYUP has been very involved in getting us here in the youth justice work group process. And and prior to that, a lot of people, a lot of organizations were also working hard to just get to this point. So it's a monumental moment for us, and just wanted to just reiterate that again. And just really thank our panelists and our speakers for being vulnerable and sharing some of your stories and why you believe we should do this, right? But so I guess I'll pass it to I guess from before we go to questions and answers. You guys already know today the motion is going to be presented at the board of supervisors in a few minutes, like in an hour or so. And we are, basically getting ready to show up and, support it and get the board's support on it, and hopefully it gets approved and passed, and then we get to work on the implementation of it. Yeah, so we are gonna show up, and we just hope that everybody that's listening to us right here and it's here in this panel have submitted their public comment in support of the Justice Reimagine, or is basically gonna call today. But so yeah, I guess one of the, just to reiterate some of the demands that our youth asked for, is that we're asking for a creation of a new department, youth development department, and transfer all duties of juvenile probation divisions into this department within the next 5 years. Some of the other things that we asked was that we reallocate at least 75 millions from probation to the new department, and to continue to reallocate from the juvenile probation's full 500 million budget. And also we want to end the criminalized youth, including the school-based probation citation diversion, and probation run diversion programs. And another thing that we wanted to make sure that we do is to continue to engage more people and just formerly incarcerated individuals to continue to be part of the process. So yeah, so that's what we are, what the youth we're talking about. And so yeah, so I guess I'll pass it to Anthony if you want to add anything to what the youth have spoken about and about the youth justice work group, and then we could just go straight to questions and answers.
Hey y'all, sorry, I'm out here in Sequoia and I'm having trouble getting Wi-Fi. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I have like one little bar, so I'm not sure if I'm coming through. But yeah, I had to join late, so I'm not sure what's been said about the Justice Work Group or what's to come. I only heard like the last couple of speakers, but I'll just say this is like the end of the first part of this whole process of reimagining our youth justice system here in LA County. And today just represents a historic vote. It's been 11 months in the making since January that we've been working on this. We've been YJC, we've been pushing for the 5% campaign to reallocate 5% of probation's budget to a youth development department. And now we opportunity through the work that we've all done as a coalition and as a community through this youth justice work group process to not only reinvest 5%, but in phase out probation over 5 years and invest all that money into youth development. So this is just a really special moment. The motion is pretty strong, and it encapsulates pretty much all the most of the phase 1 recommendations that are in the report that we worked on, including a $75 million reallocation from probation to into youth development. So today's going to be big. It's going to be historic, and if passed, will be the start of the beginning of phasing out probation and putting us on a path towards hopefully ending youth incarceration, in the next few years, here in LA County, and really um, put an example for the rest of the country to follow, that we can do this, especially in the county that's incarcerated the most young people in the world, since, like the 80s and 90s. We've been #1, and have the largest network of juvenile halls, juvenile courts, camps, and all that. So this is our chance to start dismantling that and creating something that's rooted in youth development, and truly cares and supports youth, not just when they're responding to an incident, but even before that, and making sure that young people have the resources and opportunities they need, so they don't ever have to come in contact with law enforcement, just, yeah, thank you all for being here. If there's any questions, I'm down to help answer any, especially on the youth justice work group or the motion. Could answer any of those. So, thank you.
Cool. Thank you for that, Anthony. So we have a question. What is the landscape for youth development resources in the county right now?
I feel like anybody in the team can answer, and then anybody else can add.
Well, I could start, and somebody else can follow up if they want. So the landscape of youth development resources right now, I don't know if Nicole's on, or Lupita, or I don't know who else was working but on that project, but Nicole and Lupita and others were working on mapping all these resources throughout LA County, which is a huge undertaking, because we know how big the county is and how many little orgs there are out there and that we don't even know about. And so they were creating this list, and the last time I looked at it, I think there was like a few hundred on it, and the plan was to even map them out. Like, they're getting the geocodes for them, the coordinates, so they can map them, and that way we can present this to juvenile courts and other people to use this as advocacy for, to divert young people out of the juvenile system and into youth development, community-based youth development. I'm not sure where we are with that project, so I'm not sure if there's others who worked on that who may have more updates on that. But also, there's YDD, which is contracted with a few organizations right now, but is gonna scale up, gonna expand and connect with more community-based organizations out there. So the youth development landscape here in LA County is robust. It's large. What this Youth Justice Reimagined is seeking to do is just coordinate, scale up, where we can coordinate across the entire county with all these resources, and really have one home where all these youth development organizations can live under, and that way we can be better coordinated, get resources out there faster, and just streamline everything. And that way young people have a home and know all the resources in their community that they can go to. So I would say it's robust. It's just about scaling up and coordinating. And that's what this new youth development department would represent, is coordinating all that.
Cool. And to add on to what Anthony said, I was on that resourcing for several months, and we do have about 120 pages. And out of those 120 pages, none of them are probation or have anything to do with CDCR. All of them are community-based organizations, and several of these organizations have been out there for several years, even decades. And while working on this project with Nicole, I learned that all these organizations have been around my area, my vicinity, for years, for decades, and no police officer, nobody from the community with authority has ever told me when I was a little kid, like, hey, there's a community center down the street, there's this organization, there's this place for you could go, like a safe haven, where you could do your homework, where you could relax, where you could have a mentor. They never gave me these resources. But with this new reimagine, how we're trying to do it is how Anthony said, is inform the youth. A lot of these kids, isn't that they don't know what to do or they're doing bad. It's just that they aren't informed of the resources that are out there. So what we're trying to do is inform them of the resources and help them and guide them, not tell them what to do, but to guide them on the right path to success. That many of us don't have examples. Unfortunately, me as a first generation Hispanic, I didn't have that. I don't have that my mother is works all day, and she really never had the time and resources to take me to these places. But yeah, that's all I had to add on. That none of these resources are probation related. They're all community based.
Yep. Anybody wants to add, you go ahead and just jump on. I would just say that another thing that just because we're talking about this topic, a lot of the organizations that are currently working with youth, like some of us, YGC, ARC, Arts for Incarcerated, Homeboy, like all of us, right? We all do things that unfortunately it doesn't qualify as a youth diversion or youth development service, right? Like, and I feel like what also we're trying to do is basically trying to, support that, because, like if we were to identify, like if a kid was to get out released right now, like a lot of organizations, they could do things, they could provide reentry services, but because we're so limited on how we could do it and how we cannot, we cannot go into facilities, there's things that are so limited how organizations can really provide services. I think what we're trying to do is just expand that opportunities for the organizations to really provide. If someone provides housing, let's add 20 more housings to that program so we could start supporting youth. If someone provides tattoo removal, let's add another 50 spaces for other 50 youth. If someone provides temporary internship, like let's expand that. So it's like, how do we build off the current organizations that are already providing some of these reentry things that are very small right now? But if we were to invest in these things, we could make it even bigger and scale it up even larger, and becomes more effective, better outcomes. So I think that's another thing we're trying to just try to create a real infrastructure of real reentry opportunities for people that are right in front of us. Like Oscar said, some of these things are right in front of us, but we're not investing in it. We're not prioritizing this organization. So I think that's another reason. That's another vision that we're trying to really envision: just real collaboration amongst organizations and a real network of reentry support that is valued in a different way. Like we valued this probation system during this past decades of investing in it. But yeah, so anybody else wants to add to this, Millie?
I just wanted to add one thing in response to the question. For far too long, the county has invested in an entity that doesn't provide any sort of data, that doesn't provide any sort of transparency, accountability. There's nothing that justifies spending $500 million to essentially incarcerate, surveil, supervise, impose conditions on young people. There's nothing to justify that in terms of outcomes, in terms of benefits, in terms of just positivity, in terms of community safety. The list goes on and on. So when we talk about the landscape for youth development, I mean, it is there, but it has not been invested in. And I think the purpose of the new department will be not only to invest in these organizations, but also to prove that different is better, and that what has existed has been a complete failure. And the time now is to create accountability by transferring those funds into things that we know work.
Thank you so much, Millie. I just want to chime in. Good morning, everybody. My name is Kruti Parekh. I'm a youth worker, a social worker, and the coordinator for the Los Angeles Youth Uprising Coalition. And I am originally from New York, and I have to say that over 15 years of doing youth work in Los Angeles, the probation department has been the youth development department of Los Angeles. I have seen time and time and time again, young people being criminalized and harmed by the system. I've also seen our government officials choose law enforcement over youth development time and time and time again. This work is literally on the shoulders of so many people that came before us. The folks that did the 1% campaign, the LA for Youth campaign, saying if you just took 1% of dollars going into law enforcement, that's $100 million. $100 million, that could be 50 youth centers, 500 peace builders, and 25,000 youth jobs. One drop in the bucket. So today is so incredible to hear young people speak of their own life stories. For Maura to be able to say, don't use it on this, use it for healing, use it for services. For Black to be able to bring it in with stories of harms that the system has done before he was born and watching it unfold before his own eyes. For Oscar to be able to say, connect it back to the legacy of this country, to say that this is a new day, that another vision is necessary and is possible. And as we think about $500 million going to the probation department, the Youth Justice Reimagined is literally imagining what an infrastructure for young people could look like to prevent any more young people going into a trap, into a direction that has no exit that's a beneficial one. And really just celebrate everybody that has contributed to the report, to the organizers, to young people, to advocates, to all of the coalition members, and just know that if this is going to be successful moving beyond today, beyond the motion today, it's going to take every voice that you heard today. It's going to take every community member that went to one of the meetings or all of the meetings. For the people that folks mentioned are already community-based organizations that are doing the work, that have been looking and needing the resources that can come directly from the probation department to make it happen. Thank you all so much.
I wanted to add on something quick to what Anthony said. We are LA. We are gonna lead the wave. We are leading the wave. What I mean by that is we are leading by example. So whatever decision is made today will traumatically impact the rest of the world. Not now, not tomorrow, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I would like to say that living in LA County have seen it go from like small-minded to open-minded, and we're still going there. And I would like to say that I was in a quick national summit, and kids are still being tried as adults, 12 years old in Wisconsin, in Texas, and all these other states. But LA is leading the wave. Like 14 and 15 years can no longer be tried as adults. So it's just like support this motion. You never know what could happen. Positive things. We've already seen the negative things that happen. So just support this motion and let's lead the wave, and you guys can really change the world.
I wanted to chime in on that one time, speaking on my own experience, and speaking on behalf of the youth out there that really need support and resources. When you really think about it, a lot of the youth out there don't have a support system, which can be no mom, no dad, not even no big brothers or nothing. They're out there on their own. And when you realize to the fact that you're on your own, it kind of breaks you. You know what I'm saying? You hear these words saying that you ain't never gonna be this, or you gonna be like for my experience. When you're in the system, you hear these words that you always gonna come back to jail. You're gonna be in jail forever, and you ain't never gonna be this, and you ain't never gonna succeed. And when you hear that, and you already in that environment, that breaks the mind and the soul. You know what I'm saying? Because then, how are you supposed to elevate yourself? How are you supposed to excel if you constantly hear these things and you do not have a support system? You do not have the resources or the guidance to become a productive member of our communities. And I say that to say because I was in and out of jail since 2014, and I did not want to be on probation at all. And if you notice, all these young folks that constantly violate probation is because they don't want to have to worry about that if they want to lay their life. And also, if you're on probation, really you're not exposed to resources and different youth development centers and programs because you're so worried about not getting violated, or maybe I don't want to be on probation, so I don't care, I'm gonna go on the run. So your mind is only either two things. But really, if we have these programs into our into our society, and exposing these resources and bringing these different like these different abilities to show. But like Oscar said, we're not trying to tell them what to do. What we're trying to do is to give them a ladder so they can climb to the top. That's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to take control of their life, you know. So in the end, they have the ultimate decision to become who they want to be. But if they don't have no type of chart or any way to organize their life, then it's no way they're going to succeed. They're just going to be in the streets like they've been doing because that's all they know. So that I just wanted to share that with everybody. Thank you.
God.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say we can't support in the same structure. You know, gotta go different. Gotta go, you know, go different or go home. Go something, you know, become newer. Like you said, you feel me? Because like, you know, in my community, you know, I'm from the Crenshaw district, you know, I got the hat. But, you know, my community, like I see everybody every day, you know, some people try to make their hustle, they try to make their grind, but they're always stopped by, you know, probation, always stopped by some type of offense, you know. And it's just like, you know, they just want to make their money sometimes because they're the breadwinner of the family, or they're the only person that they have to rely on. You know, they got brothers, sisters that they have to work on, you know. And it's just people out here that's homeless, that's transitioning due to the COVID, you know. It's just like, you know, it's so much. It's like we have what I think have over 95,000 9,500,000 of houses over, but we have over like 450,000 people that's homeless. We have, you know, we have houses open, but we have all these homeless people. Like, you know, we have all these stuff that we can invest in. You feel me? But we have probation taking up all our money. So we need to, you know, see a different change for that. I'm just saying, you know, but yeah.
Thank you, Black. And thanks everybody. And I know that it's already 8:48. So, and I know we gotta get ready for public comment at the BOS. So we'll wrap it up here. If you all have if you want to follow up regarding press, any quotes, Emilio put the information in the chat box. Emilio is the point person for that. And if anybody else has just any other questions, just you guys could reach out to Kruti. She's the LAYUP coordinator. And most of y'all kind of know us already. So yeah, so thanks everybody for joining today's youth-led press conference here. And thanks everybody for joining. And please call the board of supervisors and urge them to approve Youth Justice Reimagined. Thanks everybody and have a great rest of your day.
Have a blessed one. Keep it black.
That's agenda item 19 for folks looking at the board of supervisors. So we'll be calling in right now. Please join us and feel free to follow up with any questions or comments. Appreciate everybody's time. Have a great Tuesday. Let's get this victory.
You too. God bless.
There is a sluggishness, intellectual sluggishness, academic sluggishness in almost any Negro community. But this exists only because of the result that has come upon us through years and years of slavery.
Young people make some noise, and all the parents and teachers and community members and organizers who are here to back you up.
Why yes? Why we need school police? Hey, why we need school police? Why yes? Yeah. Why we need school police? Yeah, I don't get it, they causing the friction, I'm really not with it. We need more counseling nurses, the lunch is not meeting criteria. Why we need school police? Why we need school police? I'll say it again, man, these cops killing kids and we scared of the cops. The gov is basically letting them in, I don't understand. Why we need school police? Why we need school police? If the kids fighting the police igniting, you get sent to juvie, now you were parolee. But all you needed was some counseling. This the closest thing to blasphemy. I'ma start fighting back casualties. They not harassing me, they is not saving me. Why we need school police? They need vacation and why we need school police? Matter of fact, abolishment, we know what time it is. Tired of following orders, some youth got disorders. The cops do not know us, especially impoverished communities, soldier. They don't need training, we don't need their forces. They is not helping, so we gonna know them. You heard them, we told them, just listen to youth. Abolish their forces. Abolish their forces. Started off with a dream like Martin Luther King, but the cops killing dreams, and I feel like I'm next. At war with my stress, lying they don't protect. They put that force on your neck. To them, that's another black dead. I don't know how they feel, but I'm already dead. Just imagine all the other kids that don't got a voice, still stuck in their head. Then we all dead. All I'm saying is the school police is not it. We need to abolish and make a new set. Yeah, abolish and make a new set. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we need to abolish and make a new set. We need to abolish and make a new set. Why we need school police? Why yeah, I don't get it. They causing the friction. I'm really not with it. We need more counseling nurses. The lunches they not meeting criteria. Why we need school police? Why we need school police? Yeah, I don't get it. They causing the friction. I'm really not with it. We need more counseling nurses. The lunches not meeting criteria. If you agree, say yeah. Yeah. 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 Why we need school police? 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 Yeah.
Why we need school police? 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 Why we need school police?
Black students are twice as likely to be arrested at school than any other student. U.S. public schools have more law enforcement officers than social workers. This, I wish I could say, surprised me.
That's psychological harm on a child, and that's the stuff that makes me like shake in my bones.
LA school police shouldn't exist. They didn't always exist, and they cost over $70 million a year.
The police in our community occupy our area, our community as a foreign troop occupies territory.
We want freedom.
Hello everyone, my name is Christian Wimberly and I'm a youth leader with Brotherhood Crusade. California has 2 times more law enforcement in schools than social workers.
My name is Maya Menya, and I'm a recent graduate of Venice High School. I've been a proud member of Students in Los Angeles. Today, I came here with my fellow beautiful Black and brown students all outside and right here on the side. We are here to expand the safety of community schools by demanding to vote yes on Monica Garcia's motion to defund the LAUSD school police, the largest school police district in the country.
No one of us can be free until everybody is free. And every one of us needs to say to our children, children, this is your world. Come out, stand out, earn it.
We don't need the legacy of slave catching in our schools.
85% of current and former students who had interactions with school police reported them as negative, including experiences like being followed, questioned, harassed, randomly searched, use of force, and the big one, racially profiled.
The real content of any kind of revolutionary thrust lies in the principles and the goals that you're striving for, not in the way you reach them.
Days ago, people wouldn't have been talking about defunding school police.
Last words on my lips, I am a revolutionary.
No matter what gets approved or not approved today, the work is not done. We gotta stay in the streets. We gotta continue organizing. We gotta continue turning up. We gotta continue to uplift and center the voices, especially of our Black youth.
Nearly 400,000 students in California attend a school with a police officer, but no school counselor. This is unacceptable.
Everyone, thank you for joining us. For a few of you folks that stayed around to watch the video, hope you enjoyed it. Please go out and support our young people and join the BOS. Peace out, take care, be safe, have a good week. Talk to y'all soon.